I have no idea if we're live. All right, supposedly we're live right now. So once again, YouTube did go ahead and change the way that you set up a live. So please let us know if you can hear us, how everything's going, and please let us know how your eBay dropshipping sales have been doing recently. So in today's video, we have a nice live for you guys. We haven't done one in a while. Please be sure to smash that like button. Let's get it out to as many people as possible. And today I want to talk about some eBay updates that are coming about or have come about. You know, we did a live maybe like 3 weeks ago. But, you know, it has been a very busy time for us, so we haven't done a live for a little bit. So please let us know who you are, where you're from, you know, how your sales have been doing, and yeah, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to see where everybody's from, if you guys can hear us okay, and you know how you guys are holding up with the whole quarantine thing. I know a lot of people have been asking, oh, is this a good time to get into eBay dropshipping? Is this, you know, it doesn't make sense for me to get into it. And I've been saying to everybody out there, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, I say, guys, there's never been a better time to start dropshipping than literally right now. We're seeing students hit some astronomical numbers, you know, hitting $400, $500 profit days, $3,000, $4,000 in sales per day, like Amazon, eBay. It doesn't even matter what platform you're selling on because people are at home, they're buying. There's never been a better time, honestly, to get in. So if you guys have been hitting some great sales numbers, let us know in the comments. And I'd love to see how you guys are doing personally.
So yeah, let's get into a little bit about who's here right now. We got LT Creativity said, I can't wait, hope it will be a good update, benefits dropshippers. So yeah, it's pretty much just going to be updates about what eBay's been saying, a little bit about Amazon as well, even though the title does say eBay. That's just what happened. So Tammy Madrid says, looking forward to it. Lazy Abraham, yo, he's here on every single live, appreciate it. Jameson Griffith was here on he was on my Instagram live, on my new Instagram channel. Check that down below in the description. You know, it's an up-and-coming, booming channel.
We got Matt Fuller here. He says he's hearing loud and clear. He's from Kentucky. Sales have exploded. Good to see, Matt. I was saying that to a bunch of students earlier. Carpenter can hear me from Maryland. We got an eBay suspended account. We're going to be talking about MC011s, I'd imagine, in this, and suspensions.
Watching from Scotland. I went to Scotland in November. Not a big fan of the weather there. But other than that, pretty place.
What's up, Tori Priest from California?
Here.
John, I just saw John on my Facebook Live a minute ago. How's it going, John? And we have William Klaus from Pensacola. And what do we got? GC Productions first live, but I've watched many videos, just started dropshipping this week with a few sales a day. Awesome, man. It's good to see you taking action. And anybody out there who's a beginner, who's thinking about getting into this, I'm just going to re-emphasize this again. There's never been a better time. I'm sure a lot of you guys have extra time on your hand. This is the time to start dropshipping, learning, and start making sales. You're never going to have an easier time of, you know, just getting this amount of sales velocity. It's like really, it's like Q4 on steroids, the numbers that people are posting. So as long as you keep, you know, pay attention to this PowerPoint, and we're going to talk about supply chains and making sure that your suppliers are in stock, but you know, making sure that you play the game conservatively, you're still going to make so much money. So make sure to watch this through, you know, through this entire PowerPoint, and we're going to get through it right now.
All right, so the first part is, this was a bit ago, and this started in March, but also went into April, and eBay did extend 50,000 free items to list on your account. So that means, you know, if you had a premium store in the past, that was like $75 a month, they give you 1,000 free listings per month that you can list. As long as you have an eBay store, you need an eBay store to get this 50,000 free items to list. And now instead of 1,000, or even with an anchor store, which is like $350 a month, that was 10,000, and then you start paying insertion fees after that. eBay extended 50,000 free items to list in March and April. And many people may think that this is a great thing. I did register for it on one of my accounts, but you need to realize that this is eBay basically trying to stimulate their own platform. It's like a small version of kind of, you know, the stimulus $1,200 checks that we're all supposed to be getting in the mail. And basically, they want you to list all these items up on their account, on their website. They want you to start making sales. And then if you keep them on past April, you're going to get hit with insertion fees on that. So you need to keep that in mind. You need to really, you know, not overextend yourself, but also maybe take a little advantage of this listing time in, you know, for the rest of April. So the offer does end April 30th. So I don't know if it goes past April, how long you can have these 50,000 free listings. I think it ends April 30th from what I read. And then at that point, you're most likely going to have to pay insertion fees on it. So you want to keep that in mind. If you have 50,000 items up and you're getting hit with insertion fees on like 49,000 of them, you're going to pay a hefty fee. So you want to make sure that even if it's 1,000 listings, 500 extra listings, that you don't overextend yourself in that, but also take advantage of it. See if you can scoop up some extra sales. See if, there's a supplier that you didn't really want to try, but maybe you do now because you have the ability to. Then why not list their extra items up in the meantime? So I think it's a blessing and a curse. It really depends on how eBay. I think it would be a terrible move for them to just hit people and be unforgiving with the extra insertion fees, because I highly doubt that they really mention it. I do have on the next slide pretty much the breakdown of it, so we'll talk about this. It says 50,000, and if you want to find this, just type in 50,000 free listings eBay and you'll find it. Fixed price insertions for store subscribers. Please note, store subscribers must activate the promotion, yada, yada, yada. What is the promotion? And it kind of just goes into breaking it down. Who's eligible? When is it? And then it says that it starts the 23rd and ends April 30th at midnight. So I don't know. I didn't scroll down and read the entire thing. I did activate it, but I do assume that eBay is going to, hit you with fees if you do not follow or take down your listings afterwards.
Unless they extend it, of course, which is always possible depending on the situation.
A lot of things have been getting extended.
Yeah, exactly. So make sure, guys, monitor your inbox, whether it's your Messenger inbox, natively in eBay, or your inbox, your Gmail inbox that's tied to your eBay account. And also, let's say in the situation that somebody watching out there does go and tries to utilize as much of this promotion as possible and lists 50,000 items up. Let's say after April 30th, they're not paying attention to their account and they're on a premium store. They're going to get hit with 15-cent insertion fees when those renew in the next month. And do the math, we're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars, $5,000, potentially over $5,000 if you don't pay attention. So, like Tom said, it's a blessing and a curse, but make sure that you just, pay attention to it. If you're going to go and bulk upload a bunch of items, make sure you do it cautiously and keep an eye on it at the end of the month when it goes up for renewal. So the second point here, guys, is that eBay managed payments pre-registration is going to start basically in late July of this year. And what's that?
So basically the pre-registration has, I don't know, a lot of accounts got it. I got it, so it's right here. And it basically says that I'm allowed to pre-register. I'm not sure how many other people that are watching did get it. Let us know in the comments if you got it. And basically, they're saying that, due to the turmoil and the tumultuous times that, they want to make sure that you're safe and being protected by eBay, because, there could be a lot of chargebacks on PayPal nowadays. They really want to make sure that they can handle it all themselves. It's also a good turning point, I would say, for them as a business to use this time wisely. So basically, it says down below this where I screenshotted that, most accounts are going to be added into managed payments by 2020. So I think they offered or extended an offer to a lot of people, where beforehand, only a few accounts got the offer. I know one of my accounts like 2 years ago got the offer, and then like none of the newer accounts have gotten 1 cent. But this one did get it. This account's less than a year old that I got this email on, but my newest account that I just started selling more wholesale on did not get it, I don't believe. So, it maybe not everybody got it.
Again, be on the lookout, guys. You'd probably see something in your, messages from eBay saying that this offer goes out to you. But this has been something, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know this, but this has been something that's been going on for years. I think they first announced this back in 2017. This was when I was still very green with dropshipping on eBay. But they had announced that they were going to be moving over to managed payments and completely taking PayPal out of the picture. And this is just an opportunity, I think, that, like Tom said, they're trying to facilitate this and really get this, moving as quick as possible. And we've had a lot of students say, hey, I've got my account suspended on PayPal, or, PayPal jail and all these things. We don't know if there's going to be an equivalence of a PayPal jail on managed payments, but at the moment, I don't believe there is. So if this could actually
they're
be
hold
something,
it, I believe, like Amazon does for like 2 weeks.
This could be something that ends up helping us out in the long term, especially if you have a PayPal account that you can't really process payments because you've gotten in trouble with them in the past or whatever. So I think this is actually going to be a good thing for most people, more people than not over time. It's just going to be kind of a growing pain for a little bit, I'd say.
Yeah, and I do know that we have at least one student that got banned on PayPal for some reason, and he did force eBay into giving him managed payments, and then he was able to run his account on that as well. So, if you get banned on PayPal, I've seen it happen. It doesn't happen very often, but it is this could be a blessing for you. And again, it's going to happen either way. I believe the fees might be less. I'm going to sign up, take the initiative, and get put in by July, and then follow up and make videos for you guys afterwards. So, if you didn't get this, then you'll probably be in the next wave of people getting it, and you'll have videos on YouTube from me that are pretty much walking you through the process.
Right. So next part here, guys, is that Amazon, and I'm sure many of you guys heard about this because we talked about this extensively in our last live. Amazon FBA shut down. Basically, they said we are not accepting inbound shipments for FBA products that are non-essential goods, and they've categorized what essential goods are, and they've categorized what non-essential goods are. But most of the catalog on Amazon, let's be honest here, fall under the non-essential goods. So anybody who is really doing a lot of FBA and they're shipping those items in have to sit there with all of these products either warehoused locally in their garage, co-packer, or have their they've had to put a stall on importing more products from China because they can't actually ship it into FBA. The alternate is doing FBM, but not everybody has the facilities to actually do the fulfillment themselves. So this is really interesting how this has played out, but Amazon is kind of sticking to its guns for now, and they're saying that it's still in effect. So what I want you guys to know who are drop shippers, because I know primarily most of you guys are eBay drop shippers or Amazon drop shippers, there's going to be a lot of people who got into private labeling or FBA, and they're going to try to transition their online business model to drop shipping, whether it's retail drop shipping or wholesale drop shipping. There's going to be a big pivot, a big transition. So you guys, honestly, who are watching right now, if you guys have been following us for any point of time, you're ahead of the wave. You've learned a lot of this stuff. Now just go take action, because a lot of these other people are going to be making rookie mistakes, and you're going to have a competitive advantage on them.
Yeah. So another thing to add on to that is that all the items that were considered non-essential or whatever, you can still drop ship them. So if you have an Amazon account, if you've been selling on Amazon, then you've most likely seen an increase in sales because of the fact that anybody that was Prime, if they ran out of stock or if that all sold out, now it's only fulfilled by merchants, only people that are drop shipping the items. And I've seen huge price increases on some items because they were Prime, they were marked down, somebody bought them in bulk, sent them in, and then they had a better price, but now it's only drop shippers, so the prices are higher. People are still buying because they're all at home. Cleaning supplies are going wild, and some of those are just continually selling out of the warehouses. So the Primes, there is no Prime on them. So I got hit with a price gouging thing on my Amazon account about a month ago. Nothing happened, but I wanted to be safe, pull all my money out, make sure I was good, just settle down and then get back into it. So 3 days ago, I started listing items back up. I listed like 25 items, and out of those, I've already had a bunch of sales, and, the profit margins are averaging. The majority of them are over 15%. One was below 10%, but only one sale so far has been below 10. Most of them have been 15 to 20, and, that kind of leads into the next point here that says be careful with price gouging, whether you're on eBay, Amazon. Price gouging right now is something that Amazon is heavily monitoring, and I'm not sure if anybody's been hit with it on eBay yet, but they have said don't list they don't even let you list like the hand wipes or anything like that.
Personal protective
fake
equipment.
face masks or anything like that. Don't be doing that. Be careful about what you're selling. One, because it could go against what eBay and Amazon have put in place in the last month or so, but also because of the fact that your supplier, whatever you're using out there, most likely will be selling out of this stuff fast, like we saw with the toilet paper scandal of like a couple weeks ago, which I'm sure is still probably going on. You want to be careful about what you're selling, but also, this is a very high reward situation going on right now, specifically on Amazon, eBay. I mean, I've even been selling like boat parts and stuff right now, which has nothing to do with social distancing or staying at home at all, but those are still selling well. Everything's selling well right now. So if you have items up and you're not making sales, you're doing something wrong.
You're doing something wrong. I can guarantee you that. Whether it's not listing enough, whether it's pricing too high, whether it's, there's a million reasons, but those are probably the two most evident reasons. All right, so guys, the next point here, we're almost finished up. Make sure you ask the questions that you might have while we're going. So the next point here is extend handling times and contact suppliers. So I actually was in contact with a wholesale supplier very recently, and they said because of the state mandate there in Massachusetts that the governor shut everything down, whatever non-essential services, most suppliers are still operational. A lot of suppliers are still operational. This supplier that I was using is non-operational at the moment, and they extended that till the end of April. But, I missed that email, okay? That's the point here, is I missed the email saying, hey, resellers, we're closing down shop for a bit. You should probably take your items off Amazon and eBay and Shopify. Like, this is not a good time to be selling our products because we're not going to be processing payments. I had to learn that the hard way when I sold 6 items overnight and they couldn't fulfill any of them. So you want to be watching out for emails, especially from your supplier. Look out for those emails, whether it's a newsletter or whatever, and extend your handling times if you need to. I know a lot of people who have been doing Walmart to eBay dropshipping have extended their handling time to, I want to say, like over 5 days, so like 5 to 10 days handling, which makes sense, guys. You want to make sure that you're safe in this whole situation, that you're not saying the item's going to get handled and shipped out in 2 days, and realistically it takes 6-7 days to go out, in 6-7 business days. It's so easy to just go into your shipping profiles and change that stuff directly on eBay. Play it safe when it comes to handling. Even if you go over, even if you give yourself more handling days than need be, you should do that, because the opposite of that is you hurt your account metrics. Customer gets pissed off, higher returns, higher final value fees potentially in a category, etc. So do things, guys, do things more conservatively. Do not take unnecessary risks, basically.
Yeah, and the sales are going to come no matter what. People are going to buy things. My mom told me she bought some masks on Amazon in literally February, and pending that they were going to arrive from China in time now. And I was like, I guess so, sure. But people will wait the extra couple days. They understand what's going on, and they don't want to leave their house. That's the main key point here. And then last but not least, I have not actually confirmed this 100%, but I've been told by 2 students that eBay support lines are reportedly back open. I'm not sure if this is the free support line that you get if you look up eBay support, or if it's the merchant support line that we give to our students inside of the course, a kind of a workaround scheme to the system for people that only have anchor stores. But they don't ever really check. So I'm not sure.
Let us know,
I'm
guys.
fairly positive for a fact it's at least the anchor store merchant support, but it could also be the other support lines. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so if you guys know for sure, let us know in the comments, because that could help out a lot of people. I know everybody in our group was kind of freaking out, saying, oh, I can't get in touch with eBay. I need to ask them for a limit raise. I need to ask them for this, that, and the other thing. And, they couldn't get in touch with anybody because eBay sent all its support reps home. And for whatever reason, they didn't put a system into place where those support reps could talk on the phone, on their cell phone at home.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of other companies
Work from home, what?
Work from home. So,
so we got 80 people watching right now. If you liked that PowerPoint, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. We got our haters. We got our one downvote that already happened before the live started. So whoever you are out there,
we got
I appreciate
85
it.
people watching,
wow,
guys.
It's
Go
going
ahead
up and down like the stock market right now.
Smash that like button. We got tons of content to let you guys in on, and we're gonna go right through.
Can you see this? Do you want me to zoom in a bit?
Yeah, just zoom in a little bit so I can see that a little bit better. There we go.
No
we're
glasses. So we got Jameson Griffith said, smash that like button, appreciate it. Tammy Madrid, Austin, Texas, and just getting started in wholesaling. There you go.
Awesome. She's a student of ours.
She purchased the course.
Nice to see you, Tammy.
So we got a retracted message here. Samuel from Orlando. Hey, Tom, watching from Florida. Thank you very much for showing up. Hi from Morocco. We got people from all over the place, multiple continents here.
We got Pablo AR with the latest updates and free listings, sales increase, and PayPal limits, accounts, funds cannot be used. What to do?
So you've been selling too much, is what it seems. You're gonna want to try to find a credit card or some way, or just slow down your sales. You need to process these sales, and you are currently in PayPal jail, what it sounds. So they're holding on to your money. You need to have a way to process your orders in the first couple months when you get started. So basically, if you we always preach this. You need to have some money to get started in this business, and if not, then you need to either find the money somehow, some way, some shape or form, credit cards, something, pay it off, slow down your sales, and make sure that you're getting all your orders out, because if not, then that's going to affect your account even more. eBay does not like if you're a brand new account, you're screwing up, you're not sending out your items. It means, first off, that you don't have your items. It means that, secondly, you're most likely drop shipping them, and you're not drop shipping them well because you don't know what you're doing. So that's one thing to really avoid. We got Weapon RK here. He's always on the lives. Thank you. Brian Wick, thanks for showing up. Jay Kitson from Syracuse, Indiana.
We got Colin Duffield. He says, hey, gents. We got Nicholas. He's on a lot of our lives. He said, can you guys make an option, buy your course in payments? I've addressed that in the past. We are not planning on doing any type of payment plan like a lot of people have asked us. But no, we don't plan on doing that for a number of reasons. A lot of times, people who pay are committed, okay? And people who, want to, either work around the system, watch 20% and then get a refund. Like, no, I want students that are committed to learning this, and I don't think that the payment plan is really going to make a big difference.
It was abused much in the past, and we're not opening it up ever again. So
sorry for the grim reality, but
apologies.
Hopefully
and if we did, it was going to be more expensive anyways. So Matt Fuller says, I received an offer and see the banner on most eBay pages. Yeah, so a lot of people got the offer for 50,000 free listings. Activate it if you want, but again, if you don't have a bunch of listings to list, the only people I think this would really work well with are people that are doing wholesale, that have, inventories from their wholesale suppliers that are like, 30,000 items or whatever. You could bulk upload literally an entire wholesale supplier's inventory, and it would all be for free technically until, you forget to take down the listings, you get screwed a month later. But, I am using this time to definitely list over the 1,000 items on my premium store on my new account, just to why not stimulate it a bit, take advantage of it, and really just try to see if I can push some extra sales.
Yeah. Okay. So next question here from Yuta says, what is the name of the supplier or vendor USA of custom case for me to drop ship? Custom case.
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah. Let me know what you mean by a custom case, because there's a lot of different types of cases, I'm sure. A lot of different types of case suppliers as well. Maybe like a suitcase or something.
Gun cases.
Gun cases. I guarantee you, though, there's a lot of wholesale gun suppliers. I know for a fact
yesterday.
You didn't need to have your license.
No.
A lot of these gun suppliers, there's so many of them, they must be selling out of control.
I'm talking about gun-like supplies,
right
like
now.
scopes
Even the accessories are going to sell out of control right now. Oh, and that's another thing. I have this weight over here. I called this 2 weeks ago. This is just a kettlebell that Tom had the other day. We've been working out with this here and there. But I called this 2 weeks ago, guys. I said 2 weeks ago, when this whole thing really started to get big with the whole virus, I said there's going to be people quarantined inside their house, and they need, whether it's barbells, dumbbells, or just like yoga mats and accessories, bands, the rubber bands, the stretch bands, the medicine balls. There's so many accessories for fitness. And these people are sitting inside their house. They can't go to the gym. They put our gym on freeze. Like, every single gym out there is closed down. You have to have some way of working out at home, and not everybody's going to be doing push-ups. So, that's what I said 2 weeks ago. If you guys had wholesale suppliers or even retail suppliers, try to figure out what is going to be in demand right now and why it would be in demand. And that's a perfect example. People who took advantage of that are killing it right now.
That's very true. So Matt Fuller said that he got out of PayPal jail early by depositing money into my PayPal account. Simply put a few $100s into your PayPal account. I have no idea if that works, honestly. Give it a try. Maybe it does. But most of the people that are complaining about PayPal jail also don't really have the money to be putting into their account, so it might not work for everybody. We got Billy Jake, our virtual assistant, on here. Says, oh, you guys are live right now. Yes, we are, Billy Jake.
What's up?
That's why it says live.
Oh, man.
Oh,
so
God.
Pablo, I saw Pablo's question said, and what do I do with documentation that PayPal is asking for? All right, Pablo, I'm not sure your situation there. Matt Fuller says you have to provide it. Okay, they're going back and forth.
Tom has a great video on that subject. Thank you. Newer FBA sellers can't do drop shipping without being suspended. So I did notice that a lot of the newer accounts are having some issues with it. Again, everybody always talks about seasoning your account, and that could be something that you need to do. So again, I don't have a brand new Amazon account. I don't. So I'm not sure what's going to happen if I list items onto a brand new account because I don't have one. but I have been seeing some people having some issues with it. We've also had people buy our course recently and start drop shipping on it. So Amazon's very cryptic in what they do. You always want to take it extremely carefully. That's why when I got a price gouging thing on my account, I took all my items down right away, and I waited till I had like $16,000 or $18,000 in there. I let that all funnel out until I realized, all right, I'm good. They never called me after the 72 hours. It's been a very long 72 hours. No call. I've been waiting for it. And I'm just assuming that, I'm good to go. Back at it. I'm going to let that fall off after 6 months, and we'll call it a day. I've done it multiple times with Amazon. They don't tell you what they want. It doesn't really make sense, but, you got to be as careful as possible.
Okay, so you'd asked the same question twice. Sydney A, what's going on?
Stephen Webster was listing.
What's up, Stephen Webster?
He's getting to work right now.
Stephen Webster, congrats on finishing that wholesale dropshipping course. He watched the entire thing in like a week. And that's a long-ass course, like probably 18 hours long. So congrats on that. Dominique Jones says, hey, Tom and Jason, what's a good way to set your margins for suppliers who charge calculated shipping based on different factors such as location, weight of the item, etc.? Thank you.
So that really depends on if you're talking wholesale or retail. If you're talking retail and you're using SKU Grid does add the item to an imaginary cart in the background and does calculate the shipping price, an average shipping price. It's to the zip code in New York City, which is 11101. You don't want to be there right now, but that is a good zip code to have a shipping, to just have set up. So that's basically what SKU Grid has set up. They just add the shipping into the cost of the item. You're good to go. There's some issues, if it goes to California and it costs more money, yes, but again, it's not a perfect system. Nothing's a perfect system, and it's just something that you have to deal with. Maybe add a couple dollars to the profit margin to average it out, or maybe just keep it where it is and it averages out on its own. So
yeah, that's basically the same for wholesale dropshipping as well. I do talk about a free software called City Extremes, and this is basically how it works real quickly. So let's say you have a wholesale supplier that ships out all of their products out of one fulfillment center down in Florida, right? What you'd want to do is you'd want to go onto City Extremes and type in the most opposite. You figure out what the most opposite city from that city in Florida would be, probably Seattle, Washington, right? And what you do is you'd go through a mock checkout, kind of like what SKU Grid does. And that mock checkout will give you the calculated shipping based on that rate at, shipping it across the country. And then you do one to the closest proximity city in Florida, and you'd average those out. That'll give you a good idea of what you should be charging for shipping, or what you should be carrying over to the price of the product on eBay if you want to do free shipping. So you can actually factor that into the price on eBay and do free shipping. So you have multiple options of doing it, and you can always add a little buffer if you feel like that average might not be where you want it to be. So there's multiple options.
And then another thing I've done for wholesale suppliers recently is I've just made people pay shipping. I don't even have free shipping, and so the software I'm using uploads in the length, width, height, and the weight of the item. So at that point in time, as long as that's accurate, you do a calculated shipping instead of a set shipping price, and then eBay is calculating it for you, and pretty much you're good to go. So I've had no issues with that so far. People might say you're going to make less sales because it's not free shipping, but then you also have to realize that if you put the shipping price into the price of the item, if somebody buys 2 or 3 or 4 of them, they're going to be paying more, and then if they just pay shipping once. Right. So it's kind of a give and take. You can't really, it's not a perfect system, like I said earlier.
Right. So CJ the Credit Fixer, what's up? Can you fix my credit? No, just kidding. He says, I'm listening in at the same time, rocking from Las Vegas, by the way. I heard Las Vegas is, taking it pretty rough down there. But do we have anybody from New York City in here? We got 90 people watching. Is anybody from New
89.
York City? Let me know if you guys are staying safe out there in quarantine.
So my mother's on here watching right now. Thank you for showing up, Mom. Thank you for the care package. She sent me a mask, some gloves, and antibacterial wipes.
She's hoarding it all.
So Roman asks, how's it going, Roman? Long time no see. Tom, are you 100% wholesale on eBay now? No, I have one account that is 100% wholesale that I've been adding listings to. It's actually been taking off recently. Out of the last 7 days, it's had multiple sales every day except for one. And today I'm already up at 500 in sales, rocking around at 10%. Some hit 20, but one was negative, but that wasn't my fault. Profit.
Whose fault was it?
It was eBay's fault. I blame eBay. But so far, I'm just getting the hang of that. It's going very well. And then, there's still retail, multiple other retail stores and Amazon's I guess you would say it's all retail. The supplier I'm using, I guess retail.
I mean, technically
it's a
now you have a
hybrid.
Shopify store, so if
Huge
you wanted to start
Shopify
talking
guy.
about Shopify, I'm sure people would
Huge
start
Shopify
listening.
guy.
But yeah, so Trabuck says, what's going
Dude,
on?
Trey
He says
Bucks,
he's
dude, come on.
checking in. Good to see you. Xavier Harding says, I'm joining very soon. Nicholas, appreciate you. Dan Zemlich, how's it going? Gonna be hiring another VA. Thank you for the hack. I
don't
do
know what the
believe he was
hack
talking about
is.
the hack on our group coaching episode of the other day.
What did
Didn't
I
he ask
say?
a question? We were talking all about virtual assistants for like 30 minutes, our hiring strategies and all that stuff. But
All right, I'm sure it was good.
Good to see you, Dan. How's it going?
Ian Nicholson says, I have an old eBay store with a 2 billion item limit. What's the best bulk upload tool? I'm new to dropshipping. So again, if you're new to dropshipping and you're looking for a bulk uploading tool just because you have 2 billion item limit, I highly suggest against it. I would suggest that you start slowly, even though you have the limit to do so. Because if you're going to start with retail dropshipping, there's a chance you'll get hit with Vero violations. There's a chance you have no idea what the hell you're doing, and you want to take things slow. So take it slow, even though you have a huge item limit. It doesn't matter. Even if you had a small item limit, you can call in and get it raised. It's still the same. You know, I have accounts that I've just stopped calling in on because I don't think I'll ever need any more limit on it. I do have an account with 2 billion item limit as well. And, you know, I'm not listing very many items on that compared to the 2 billion allowed. So I really think just be safe, be careful, maybe manually list, get into SKU grid, SKU fetch. That's what I suggest. Not DSM tool. They fought with me on Instagram last night, so screw them even more. And yeah, just be safe. Don't just because you have a huge limit does not mean that you should be listing it.
Right. So we just hit 101 people watching right now. Smash that like
This is the
button.
second time it went over 100.
Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I'm going to plug it for Tom. And,
I forget, dude. I forget to say
I hope
these
you guys are
things.
enjoying this. Let us know your questions. We will be going over the hour mark today. We haven't done a live in a bit, so
Dude, this is my
we're
channel.
going to get to all the questions. Yeah, and I'm plugging you, and I'm the spokesperson.
Hey, I lost my reseller certificate. Do you have any idea how I can get a copy? I don't know how you lose that because you make one. You fill out a resale certificate.
I think he probably printed it out and literally lost the physical copy, so he's asking how to reprint it out.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you could literally.
Oh, you're talking about your tax
print it
ID
out.
from the state? I don't know. Maybe contact them, ask for it again.
You can 100% get that copy
Call the
back.
Department of Revenue. They might not be working right now.
So I can't say that last name, but somebody says, hello guys, I got the MC011 issue. I sent all the documentation required, but I'm still waiting for the response. Please, any advice? So it depends what type of MC011 that you received. You know, if you could give us some more information, because there's different types of MC011s, right? There's like 3 or 4 different main versions of it, right?
I have no idea.
That gets
I've never
sent out.
gotten it. I mean, it really depends on what you're listing. You know, I don't know what documents you sent in and at what stage you're in, because they ask for tracking information to be uploaded first and to get rid of all cases. Then they ask you for documents. I don't know what documents you provided them, and you already provided them documents. So my advice right now is just wait.
There's really not much you can
steady,
do.
have some patience, and hopefully, you know, it gets resolved, because you already did, I'm pretty sure, everything that you can. Whether it was right or not, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So Stephen Webster said, I had to open a new store. eBay wanted to know my business volume. You told them 50,000. They gave me 5,000 listings. There you go. Like, again, it's a white lie. It's a nice little white lie whenever eBay asks. You know, even if they ask if I'm doing drop shipping, I don't even tell wholesale drop shipping. I just say I'm doing wholesale, buying from wholesale suppliers, warehousing them wherever. It's just, it avoids any possible confrontation that could possibly happen. You know, eBay doesn't care when you're doing it, but if they call you, you're talking to somebody on the phone that's untrained, they might be from the Philippines, you know, they're just going to hear the word drop shipping, and that, you know, triggers in their mind, you're done. And you just want to stay away from it. Even though wholesale drop shipping is allowed, it's
better
just,
to be
it's
safe
nothing
than sorry.
you should be saying.
And you can't always, you know, like Tom said, you might be talking to a rep on the phone from the Philippines, or you might even be talking to an American over here in Utah, but at the end of the day, they might not be well trained, and they hear that word drop shipping and they automatically associate that you're doing the wrong form of drop shipping, and you could get yourself in trouble. So the best way, and this is the way that we train all of our students, is call them up to get that limit raised and make sure that you say just, you know, I'm doing wholesale or whatever. You could even say you're even doing thrifting, or, you know, just buying locally and reselling on the internet. Anything but the dirty word of drop shipping. So
Yeah.
differential equation says, how can I get listing item category unrestricted? eBay won't allow me to list more than one item in sports and
This is on
equipment
new
category.
accounts. I mean, honestly, this happens on new accounts sometimes. I don't know why, but I would just call in and ask. You've had that happen
Yeah,
before in
for
your
business
account. I've had
and
it happen.
industrial,
Yeah.
that was the worst one because business and industrial is one of those categories that I list a lot in. I love that category, but when you start a new account, they have a restriction that I think you can't list more than 10 items in that category. I think it's actually a subcategory, but you can't list more than 10 items on a brand new account until 60 or 90 days. And I had to call in, and what you have to ask is can I get whitelisted? I think it's whitelisted, basically allowed to sell more in that category, temporarily whitelisted in that category, and they can make a one-time exception, and then you can list 100, 200 items, and it's always the good old one-time exception that they'll make for you.
Always a one-time exception. I got that at the pharmacy the other day. They gave me a one-time exception pretending I had insurance to cover my prescription. I accepted it. So Shulam Rosin says, for the uniform sales multi-jurisdiction form, oh God. Do I have to register this form anywhere? No, you fill out the form. Or is it enough if I'm registered with one state? Yeah, as long as you're registered in one state on that form, you're good to go. For the Virginia ST14, are you inside of the course? You're asking awful specific questions. For the Virginia ST14 form, do I have to register with Virginia? No, it says that you're an out-of-state reseller on that form. Check that. I show it inside of the course if you're in the course, which I'm assuming you are, based off of your question.
So David Marino says, checking in from Brooklyn. He's still alive.
There you
Good
go.
and well. Good to hear, man.
Stay inside.
Jack Brady says, what if you find an eBay seller that sells the same product like 45 times every 30 days but no UPC code? I've seen that happen many times where an item doesn't have a UPC code. Is no difference, in my opinion, than finding a seller who has an item that does have UPCs on them. I mean, it might be easier to snipe, but it's not impossible to snipe a seller who doesn't have a UPC in their listing.
What are the ways? Title, description,
You
picture.
could do a reverse image search.
If there's a manufacturer's part number.
MPN.
That's basically it. That's pretty much the entire listing.
Yeah.
At that point.
The reverse Google search, so if you right-click on an image and you say search for this image on Google, it'll bring it up on Google, and 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to find exactly where that product is
Unless
coming
they
from.
edited their images heavily. I mean, there's ways that you could completely cover it up if you wanted to take the time to do so, but it's very hard to do that, I would say. If there's a William, there's a way. I'll tell you that right now. And you should be able to find it. Just the UPC code is the overarching king of the situation if you find it, but then again, people lie about UPC codes too, or put fake UPC codes in, and then you're on a wild goose hunt for items that aren't even under that UPC code.
They try to throw you off a little bit.
Yeah.
So Yuta says, what is the name of the supplier or vendor USA phone case? Oh, phone cases for me to drop ship. I'm a registered nurse in New York City.
That's a different.
Oh, okay. So I before I had no idea what case you were talking about, but so you're looking for a wholesale. I believe he's looking for some type of wholesale supplier of USA phone cases. I actually do not know. I've never sold phone cases. Tom does know more about phones than I do, but I don't know if you know any suppliers.
I honestly just Google it. I mean, we can't. That's like asking me if I know the best mop distributor. Like, I have no idea. It's very specific.
You might know that, honestly.
Who knows? You need to use Google, and that's your best friend. We can't just throw all these suppliers out there. Like, I'm not sure. So Nicholas answered your question. He is a registered nurse in New York. Be safe out there. And Shulam is also from New York. So we got a lot of New Yorkers in here.
Good to see you guys out here today. We got Carrie Adiz says moms are the best. Mine sent me a care package too.
They're so nice. So Differential Equations has another question. He says, another one. What do you do for wholesalers that require a picture of your brick and mortar store? Skip those. So sometimes they just ask for it, but it says optional. Sometimes you can just call them up and ask if it's really necessary. And then if they do actually want you to have one, then, you know, if you can't schmooze them well enough, then you're going to have to move on to the next one.
You're off the hook at that point. You're learning wholesale pretty damn well.
Well, I just got accepted by one that asked for one, but that was if I wanted to sell guns, but I just want to sell gun parts.
Yeah, it's very similar to when they have on the wholesale application, you know, your website here. Sometimes it's required, sometimes it's optional. Sometimes, like Tom said, you can call them up and say, hey, do I actually need a website? And then, you know, if you do actually need a website, then you're probably going to need to make what is called a shell website to give the impression that you do sell products in that niche.
Mine's absolutely terrible.
So, all right, guys. So William Claus says, to avoid Amazon price gouging issues, have you tried moving from free shipping to lowering the price and charging for shipping?
I don't see how that would make sense. No, the biggest thing you can do is if you just have a repricing tool like Informed, you have a max. I mean, if you have the course, I believe you might have the Amazon course. We have a lot of students now. You know, if you have the minimum and the max set up the way I show you inside of Informed, you have your minimum and then you just take your maximum and you just lower the price. So I lowered my maximum price to like literally end up being, once everything sells and fees are taken into place, to being around 20% altogether. So I'm not, you know, if everybody hops off the listing, which happened before, that's why I got price gouging on the mask that I was selling that I listed in October before any of this happened. Basically, what happened then was my profit margin shot up to like 48% margin or something, and I was still selling them, which was great, but Amazon didn't like that because I was price gouging specifically on an N95 respirator. So, you know, just be safe with that. Make sure that you're not going over like 20%, and you should be good to go. I mean, obviously you can make more. Amazon's a wild, wild west. You can make 30, 40% all the time, but you know, it's just be safe rather than sorry nowadays. I'd rather have my account at 20% margin than not have it at 40% after I sold a bunch of items, you know?
Yeah. So eCom Tomcat is in the house. What's up, eCom Tomcat? We got ZZ saying, what retail suppliers do you guys still use?
We talk about it inside of the course.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that omitted. We got Roco Slim Racing. Does eBay do discount sales on our items? I'm not sure what.
Are you talking about like how Amazon will do that? Because you've seen how Amazon will like discount items and then
they take on the
the
cost of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think eBay's ever done that. No. eBay has so many different promotion types though. I was looking at this the other day. There's volume discount pricing and regular promoted listings that everybody knows. There's markdown manager, sale event sales. There's the shipping one. There's so many different types of promotions.
But I was reading into, you know, the strikeout one.
Yeah. That's the markdown manager.
No, so there's different. There's Strikedown Manager, and then there's Markdown Manager, and
Strikedown Manager.
Yeah, and that, or Strikeout or something like that. That got taken out in 2018, but if you have an account from before that, you can still do it.
It's like a legacy version?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but if not, then you have to do the Markdown Manager. But I don't think it's as easily automatable through some of these programs, so they can't do it unless you have the Strikedown Manager.
So you learn something new every day. Huh?
Yeah, it's wild. GC Production says, I have my state's resale permit and plan to get more states. Would I then be responsible for setting up tax tables for all states that I have a permit to buy tax-free? I mean, we can't answer tax-related questions, but the answer to that would most likely be yes. But you also have to realize that eBay is collecting for just about every single state right now. There's really only a couple that you would have to worry about, which is like Florida, Kansas, Georgia, Tennessee. I forget the rest. I think there's like one or two more. And Amazon's collecting for Georgia starting next month, I believe. So eBay will most likely be soon to follow on their coattails.
So Wag says, what up? Does Dan Bilzerian have a nickname now or what? No, I am actually going to be changing my YouTube channel to The Bearded Dropshipper. So whoever suggested that, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. That is going to be my new stage name. Not Dan Bilzerian, because that might be a trademark or protected Vero version of whatever that is for celebrities.
You want to answer this question, Jason?
Sure.
I feel like you have a strong opinion.
Okay, so Milan Niho says, what do you think about drop shipping from China in this situation? So if you guys don't watch me on Instagram or TikTok, I am on TikTok as well. I go off on Shopify. I go off both on Shopify dropshipping and Chinese drop shipping from AliExpress, DHgate, and Banggood. And there's multiple reasons why, but the biggest reason for Chinese drop shipping right now at the moment, okay guys, the biggest reason, this hasn't changed at all in my opinion. This has been true since I've started drop shipping back in 2016, which is the long lead times. And I'm not talking about like 6-7 days. I'm talking about extremely, exorbitantly high lead times. 2 months, over 2 months. I did a TikTok the other day where I literally pull up on AliExpress, one of the hottest selling tents on AliExpress. This thing's selling like wildfire. And the thing that I can't understand is that this thing has a lead time of over 2 months. How can you drop ship that effectively onto marketplaces like Amazon or eBay where the precedence has been set for the customer to get the product in a timely fashion? 2 months is not a timely fashion at all. That's almost a full quarter of a year for somebody to wait for a product that they could just pay a little bit more from, either United States supplier or, from somebody who's warehousing it locally. It doesn't make any sense with the long lead time. So that's the biggest thing. I also did have a bunch of criticism from people saying, well, you made that point you made about quality control is moot because everybody who's a wholesale distributor or whatever, they all get their parts from, China. And it's like, yeah, I get that. But they also have a little bit better quality control than the guy on AliExpress who's selling units of products for $1.20.
Yeah.
Like, there is a big difference between quality control from a real reputable wholesale supplier or distributor in America versus Joe Schmo from China somewhere. Like, yeah, there's a big difference. So that's my opinion, okay? So anybody who's doing Banggood or DHgate or AliExpress, feel free to jump in. But yes, I feel very strongly about avoiding Chinese drop shipping, okay?
Okay, so we got 15 minutes left. Jason says we're going to go over 1 hour. We'll see how it is here. Be sure to smash that like button. We got 94 people watching right now. 1 away from 50 likes. We got the 3 downvotes going. They came in, they downvoted, they left. It is what it is. But we'll move on. So LT Creativity says, I just want to know if eBay still allows multiple locations. They've always allowed it. They still allow it. They sent out an update the other day saying to put multiple locations or unless your items ship from multiple locations. It doesn't matter. This has been the dumbest issue of eBay for the longest time that everybody has so many conflicting opinions on, and it's just like it's never really been an issue. So that's that. That's what I have to say about multiple locations. And then he said that he got MC011 because the tracking numbers. Then they asked me for invoices and ID verification. So again, I don't know what you sent in for invoices. If you just sent in something clearly showing you like dropshipping from Amazon, that might not have been the best play. But I don't know what you sent in. ID verification, that should be pretty simple and straightforward. But again, I'm not sure. You're just going to have to sit and patiently wait.
Also, the one thing that I don't understand that people kind of get confused about is there is definitely a difference between an invoice and a receipt. Yeah. A receipt is what's given to you when you go into a retail store, whether it's in person, that little white thing they give you when you buy something at the store. An invoice is what you get from a legitimate business, okay? That's what a business is going to send you. You pay an invoice. An invoice is basically proof of purchase from a wholesale supplier, a manufacturer. It's a business-to-business transaction, right? You don't invoice customers. That kind of sounds weird, but there is a difference. I know people have gotten away with sending in receipts.
Walmart invoices.
During MC011s, they have sent those in. But, that's definitely not what they're really looking for. An invoice is an invoice.
I've seen people get away with it.
I've seen people get away with it. But as far as the verbiage goes, an invoice is different than a receipt. So
yes.
Just keep that in mind, guys.
Very true. So how do you guys track your sales and determine if the product was sold via promoted listings? He says, my orders tab looks different now. I don't know what happened to yours orders tab, but it should just say sold via promoted listings in green under the sale. I'm not sure what happened. Again, you could also go into your seller account, which this would suck and take a long time to do, and they don't actually set up. I was looking at it the other day. If you're looking up your promoted listing fees that you're getting charged with, it doesn't say the order number. It only goes by the seller's name, so you'd have to take down the seller's name and the order number to be able to find all the fees. But you could go into your invoice and look up your fees. It'll say ad fee. It'll say the seller's name, the item, and what you got charged for an ad fee if there was one. Again, though, it should say in green, sold via promoted listing, sold via 5% discount on items over a certain amount or whatever like that. If you're doing volume discounts, anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on, we got William Claus says, Tom, please tell us about the growth of your wholesale stores.
Follow me on Instagram. I'm posting everything on my new Instagram down in the description. Make sure to follow that. That is the new gold standard for my Instagram. The eCom Tom Instagram may have been abused with engagement groups and whatnot, and does not see really any reach from Instagram at all. So we're starting anew here. And the account that has 400 followers gets as much reach as the account with 30,500
Yeah,
followers.
there seems to be something wrong with that.
Slight issue in the algorithm.
Yeah. Also, guys, William, stay up to date with YouTube stuff. We have been. I'm going to start putting out more content on YouTube. But Tom, you hit the YouTubes hard this last week.
Yeah, so I've been trying to get back into the tubes. I noticed the subscribers, the watch time falling. So I've been trying to get back in 2 to 3 times a week. A little bit rough at first, I would say, but also need to make some more targeted content. A lot on wholesale is going to be coming out.
I was going to ask
Amazon.
about that.
I mean, I've realized I have like maybe 1/10 as many Amazon videos as everything else. But Amazon's very straightforward, so I feel it's harder to make videos on. But again, I'll put more of those out there. I'm just trying to get back into the YouTubes. The whole like 120 video long course really took a little bit of video making out of me.
Yeah, for sure. So Zuka and Days said, what was the huge eBay update? I'm late.
You just think you can barge in here 40, 50 minutes late and just get updated? It's basically talking about listings, free listings. Just watch the replay, please.
Watch the replay. The replay is always available, so be patient. We're heading into the end here. We probably got 15, 20 minutes left.
UC, if you comment the same comment 4 times in a row again like this, you're getting kicked off. Find a supplier. They have good deals, but the problem they send price with package. Is it possible to let customer on eBay description that the item will directly from manufacturing original price?
I need a translator for that.
I think you're talking about price is on the receipt that you're being sent with. Don't worry about it. It's not a big issue. Where are we? Amir. Do you want to deal with
Yeah, so Amir says, how do you deal with returns when item has been shipped and tracking info said it's in transit and the buyer wants money back? So, under what circumstances does the buyer want the money back, right? So if the buyer says, oh, I bought this on accident, give me a refund, right? That if they haven't gotten their item yet, then they have no right to really do that. But if they want to cancel it and they've already purchased it and the item is in transit, you're going to want to use a scripted message. That's something that comes up fairly often. We have templates in our course that basically walk you through how to handle that. It does happen from time to time, and you're going to pretty much say, hey, wait for the item to come in. Once you receive the item, just go ahead and message us back here. We don't want them necessarily to open up a return. Message us back here and we can help you out with giving you a return label, and then you'd follow the procedure with returns, basically.
Yeah. So that's one thing. Where are we? So Jack Brady says, what are some tips you'd give yourself when you're just getting started out? Honestly, number one is you're going to make a lot of mistakes, and you just got to keep that in mind. Use those as learning experiences. Don't just get upset. You lost $5 on an order because you didn't set up your settings on your repricer correctly. But then now you learn that you had a setting on your repricer set up incorrectly. So you change that and you fix that. There's going to be a lot of roadblocks in the beginning. There's quite a learning curve. Even if you have a course, there's still a learning curve that's going to come with it. So never give up on it. Grow slowly, but actually care about your customers. I mean, I put a virtual assistant in charge of caring for me, but care about the customer service, care about your account. You can't just throw items up, just do everything half-assed, willy-nilly, and just expect that eBay is going to want to keep you around on their platform. You're on their platform. You have to play by their rules, and they can throw the ban hammer down on you if they want. Yeah.
So Colin Duffield says, how fast would you recommend listing on a new eBay store to not raise suspicions? I think we have a hard and fast rule that we've said, but it's a general guideline. So I think to play safe in the first 30 days, I would keep it under a couple thousand, honestly.
In sales or listings?
Yeah, in sales. As far as listings go, your listings are capped at pretty much what you're allotted when you start a new eBay account. And a lot of people who have new eBay accounts, unless you do the 2 billion unless you do the 2 billion limit trick that Tom talks about, then you're pretty much capped at whatever eBay gives you until you can get a limit raise. But as far as sales go, I would say keep it under a couple thousand. In the past, we never really talked about it because it wasn't that big of an issue. But now it seems as though eBay's paying more attention to early onset sales velocity, basically. New accounts getting a lot of sales volume when they don't really know what your track record is, so they do things to kind of temper you back or hit you with a restriction or suspension. So.
All right, so Shulam is responding to a question he had earlier. I'm in the course, but I can't find the answer to this question. In the course, I literally talk about this in the video. If you're filling out the Virginia ST14 form, read it. It says that you're registered in a different state. You put down that state tax ID on it, and then you say that you're an out-of-state reseller. Also, ask those questions in the group. eCom Tomcat suggested the bearded dropshipper. Thank you very much. And Edward Bernard said, man. Okay, I had to log in. Banggood is the worst. That's probably why we have people that are watching that don't like and stuff. I don't think you can like if you're not logged in. I never thought about that. I didn't know you could watch these not logged in. Huh. But I guess that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Thanks for opening our eyes.
So Jig Real says hi, and Jig Real says, does eBay dropshipping still work in eBay? Yes, it still works, especially in eBay.
Colin Duffield says new VAs are listing fast. Be careful with it, honestly. It's you know, you want to be safe rather than sorry for the first couple months. It depends. If you already have multiple accounts that are already established, because you already have VAs, and then you asked about listing on a new store, like if you have multiple established accounts, I've seen time and time again that eBay seems to be very lenient as long as you have sales history, experienced, seasoned, I guess, PayPal account, other eBay accounts that, you know, that have, what would they call it back in the day? We would say link your accounts.
Yeah,
and then you could get your listing limits raised really quickly. I don't even know if that's possible anymore.
Yeah. Edward Bernard says, Auto DS set my product from Finder tool at Banggood C camera, and it showed in stock at US warehouse for 2 months. I ordered and got an error. In short, had a 30-page text war with Banggood, and they were very, and I'm assuming,
evil.
Very evil, didn't care, and I had to pay $28 more for Chinese warehouse. Then they somehow shipped product from Bahrain. Bahrain is in the Middle East. It's a tiny country. Yeah, so I mean, again, I've never really done much of the Chinese drop shipping. I have bought in bulk from Chinese manufacturers or trading companies, but yeah, it just sounds like a nightmare. So Edward, that sounds like a really rough situation. A 30-page war at that point for $28 or whatever. I mean, or whatever you end up paying, it might not have been worth it. You know, use probably a time.
This is why you shouldn't use AutoDS either.
And yeah, definitely.
I'm just going at all the software companies. They're gonna come at me. I'm gonna come at them.
So Juan Luis Gonzalez Garcia, I love that name, says, hey guys, how are you? Do you have any further advice on finding new obscure suppliers? I have been struggling with that.
I mean, it really depends on, I don't know, are you inside of the course? Is he inside of the course?
I do believe he is.
I have the video showing what you want to be looking for. You want to be looking for, you know, the shipping, tax exemption, you know, just anything that, you know, finding their private label brands, making sure that somebody else is selling them on eBay. If not, then, you know, having a good reason or a good hunch as to why you'd want to list those items. At that point, it's really just going to take diligence in testing these things out. They don't just jump out at you. You won't even know until after you start listing their items, you know, if they're good, because maybe their shipping time says something and they don't actually abide by that, or they cancel your items. You know, you can contact them and ask them as many questions as possible, which I suggest on the phone. Do you have tax exemption? Can I resell your items on third-party marketplaces? But eventually, at some point, you're going to have to just nut up and list some items from them. And, you know, at that point in time, you realize if they're good or not. That's really what's going to have to happen. Other than that, just you know, put in the time and the effort. There's 520, I think now, U.S.-based retail/wholesale suppliers on SKU Grid. If you have trouble finding some, I mean, clearly a lot of them, there's a large portion of them that aren't good.
Even if 25% of them are good, that's more suppliers than you could ever
shake a stick at.
That's honestly, what's 25% of 500?
It's gonna be over 100.
That's over 100 suppliers that you guys could probably have. And I just threw that percentage out there, but you get the point here.
5 good suppliers, you should be set.
You literally should be making enough money.
With 2 to 3 good suppliers.
You're making enough money to replace that job that laid you off or put you on furlough. 2 weeks ago that doesn't really care
Did
that
that
much
happen to
about
him?
you. No, I'm just saying that's happened to a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
I don't
I
know what
just
furlough means, but I keep seeing furlough all over the place.
It sounds like a rapper.
Dan Zemlich says, what I've learned is most people don't pay attention to your handling times. So in a couple days, they'll message you, when's my item shipping? Yes, that is 100% sure. That's 100% correct, especially when you're dealing with these Chinese suppliers like AliExpress, right? You might say in clear English that this item takes 2 months to come in, but they don't read. The eBay customer is not reading that. It's in little tiny orange text. I know exactly where it is. It's underneath the price, and it says this ships longer than usual. Ship time is longer than usual. Most consumers do not read that, and God only knows what it looks like on the mobile app. So then they realize, oh, this is taking so long, and then they cancel it 4 days later, 5 days later when you message them, oh, this is going to take 2 months to come in, and they get upset. Like, it's just not worth it. The precedence has been set, and the precedence is not going to revert to taking a long time. The precedence is fast shipping and handling. That's what it is.
So Nicholas says, do you guys want to be my best friends? Honestly, applications are no longer taking applications at the moment, Nicholas. Sorry. BN Quality says, I created a new account, Peepee, and it has limited.
I think PayPal.
And I can't provide an invoice. I don't have one. Is there a way to? I'm not sure really what you're asking here. If you're trying to provide an invoice because your PP account got limited, you're going to have to contact them, call them or something.
You might have to call the doctor,
I'm
too.
not too sure.
Milan Nia says,
God.
how about if you have a supplier from China and shipping with DHL, is that going to work?
Oh, we're done with talking about Chinese shipping.
I've shipped via DHL. Yes, it might be a little shipper than EMS or China Post, but it's not going to be that great. It's not going to get to your customer in usually within 10 to 14 days. Like, that's way too long, guys. So enough about the Chinese dropshipping.
Yeah,
I
we say not to
stay
do
away
it.
from it.
I don't want any more questions. So Edward said, I pushed and pushed, even had a Bang Good rep call me on Sunday. Was very polite, but did nothing but offer me 6% on my next purchase. I got a defect on my eBay account and had it removed. Thank goodness, still 100% perfect account. Yeah, honestly, at that point, I'd probably stop dealing with Bang Good as well.
Yeah.
So we had Nads V3 say, eCom Thomas Beast. Nads is my Ascendant Wholesale
Really?
rep. Yeah. Thank you very much for showing
We got
me.
a
That's my
wholesale rep in the house. Good to see you, man.
That's when you know you're legit.
We got ZZ says, you guys use Sam's Club as a supplier. I have never used Sam's Club as a supplier.
If you ship to 25 or more locations, they no longer give you free shipping. I'm not sure what happens after that. If you can still be profitable, I've never used them.
LT Creative says, is CJ dropshipping good to use if you're doing dropshipping from China to eBay? No. I've heard so many people ask me about CJ dropshipping.
They seem sketch because they're always trolling Facebook groups, just advertising themselves. If you have to do that, your product isn't good.
I really don't think that they're worth your time there, LT Creative. So you can get this next one.
I quit AutoDS, do things manually with direct supplier, and made $1,200 in 4 days in gross sales. Before that, my max was 250 listings, was about 150 in a month. Now I have 8 listings. Wow, Edward goes and does everything by hand and does way better. It's surprising. Manual by hand and or using SKU-Grid is the way to go. I don't think there's any other software out there, although they will argue with you on Instagram about it.
Congrats. I mean, Edward, that's pretty damn good. You hit 1,200 in gross sales in 4 days. That's pretty good.
It's the time to be selling, too.
We're seeing results like that and even better from some students, so I'm really happy and proud of people that are taking the initiative and, actually making this work. Because what else are you going to do? You can sit at home and watch Netflix or, not better yourself, not earn money, but this is an opportunity for you to not only learn a skill, learn a business, but also make money if you guys have gotten to a point that you have already done the trainings and the learn. So, take your choice there. Watch Netflix all day, earn money. I'm going to go with earning money. It also keeps your mind off of the craziness.
I started playing League of Legends again for 3 days. I had to delete it off my account, off my computer. I can't go back to that. I'm going back to making money. So Milan says, how do you deal with cases when your account gets suspended and eBay refunds the money automatically? Honestly, I'm not sure. Call eBay. Just say, hey, plead your case. I believe their phone lines are open, as we said at the beginning of this video.
So Mike D says, why do you prefer them not to open returns? So many returns timeout before they ship it back, at least until they change the amount of time they had to send it back. Mainly because if you go through the returns center, your service metrics are going to get messed up, okay? And what I mean messed up is you run the risk of having higher than average service metrics. And when that happens, your final value fees will increase in categories that you have higher than average service metrics for, okay? So that's 5% final value fees extra. That's a lot.
Category.
In that category.
You do not want that to happen. You want to avoid every possible return, even though it is most likely easier to do it through eBay because they kind of track it for you and you get the nice little, it shows you everything.
Nice little outdated dashboard.
Yeah, nice little outdated dashboard, but it's not worthwhile if you can keep everything off of their system within the messaging, and as long as you have some way to track it in an Excel spreadsheet, Monday.com, Asana, Trello, whatever, Slack, if you're slacking your homies on there, that's the better way to go about it. So Jay Kitson says, are all your listings immediate payment required? Yes. I would never waste time. I think I did back in the day when I was selling like Pokemon games, like waiting for it. I remember one dude was screwing me over when I was trying to resell video games. I was like, done, immediate payment always. My mom was calling me the other day, like, I was selling, this person never paid, and then opened up a case on eBay. I was like,
you always have to do immediate payment. It's not worth it. So Skepsy TV says, why am I so scared of setting up a stealth account, ? I have no idea why you're so scared of it.
Should we break down like this is a psychiatrist?
I'm not a psychiatrist, but I would imagine the technology and the acronyms might be scaring you. An IP address, go do a Google search, VPN.
MAC address.
None of that stuff's that complicated. Also check out that book that I always talk about, guys. For Amazon sellers, it's the Amazon Ghost book. For the eBay sellers, it's like eBay Stealth book. They're made by the same company, written by the same company, and they're legit. Somebody contacted us the other day, and they're like, "Oh, I don't trust it because the published date or the revised date was 2 years ago." Like, but the information really hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So if it still works today, you should still probably read it, and I'm definitely endorsing that.
I'm pretty sure Amazon Ghost is like 10 years old technically, and it still works.
It still works.
Yeah.
It's the technology hasn't really changed, I don't think.
Until they start looking at your face through your computer as a password or your fingerprint, not much is going to change. Although my laptop did say that I could use my fingerprint to get into my eBay account. Yeah, because I have the fingerprint thing on my laptop.
Oh,
that's sketch.
That's
sketch.
That's Max.
I didn't set it up.
That's why I hate Max.
Do you pay your virtual assistants weekly, and do they have to be listed on your LLC? I pay them bi-weekly, and it doesn't really matter how you pay them. And do they have to be listed on your LLC?
No.
Technically, no.
I mean, neither of us are accountants, neither of us are CPAs, but the way that we kind of have them is international subcontractors. You are supposed to give 1099-Ks to subcontractors. They're international, so it's kind of in the gray area. They're not on payroll. We don't pay a payroll tax. So just take that with, look into that more. I'm going to leave it at that.
How do you deal with delays? I've marked them as shipped without tracking number. My supplier is taking time. That sounds like you're lying because they have not shipped, and that doesn't sound like the right thing to do here. Ilias, whatever that says. You should not be saying they're shipped when they're not shipped because clearly they're not shipped and you don't have a tracking number to provide them when they open up an items not received case. You will most likely lose because you haven't put a tracking number in there. You need to contact your customer and let them know what's happening, and you're going to have to take the late or delayed shipment because of the fact that your handling time was not accurate as compared to what your supplier was taking. So that's what I say.
So Edward Bernard says, I was trying to understand why all of these gurus promote it. He's talking about AliExpress or Banggood dropshipping like it's the best thing, and I'm going to say since sliced bread, and know for a fact they are terrible. I needed to be absolutely sure, LOL. I agree, Edward. It is, it's complete BS, honestly.
He keeps going.
By the way, I promised Banggood I would get my story out to influencers like you and have the word out so others don't suffer. So thank you. You're welcome. And he also goes on to say, when I get my money together, I will join your course because you have been perfect with information that lines up with my experience, and now I'm finally getting it. Thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words. And I will say to this point, though, you asked about why other e-com gurus are promoting it and stuff. There's always a reason. There's an underlying reason. Most likely, they're pushing an agenda. What is that agenda? Is it affiliate commission? Is it a course? Is it this? Is it that? Is it bringing social prowess on social media, whatever. There's always a reason as to
Money
why.
is powering a lot of this. I got questioned the other day by an Amazon repricing tool how much to put out a YouTube video on them. And I said, I don't do that. And they said, oh, I just assume that when you put out videos on SKU Grid, they're paying you for it. And I was like, no, I only talk about softwares that I use.
Yep.
So Stephen Webster is going to bed right now, so he has to go. Thank you for showing up, Stephen.
Good night,
Have a great
Stephen.
night's sleep.
Sleep tight.
Be in Quality says, what is the best digital or physics? I prefer physics to calculus based. Back in college, I was really a big fan of that. Yeah, I really have no idea what your question is asking, honestly. But I was mean at physics to calculus based.
Wow. Great question there. GC Production says, I started selling with AliExpress, my first 20 sales in a few days, and quite quickly, once I got a return case and realized the tracking numbers and did not upload clearly to eBay, no more China. Good for you. Empowerment right there.
It seems like everybody needs to learn the hard way on this, as many videos
Honestly, yeah. So we're winding down here, guys. We got a couple more questions. Appreciate everybody coming out. Smash that like button, and
Let's get up to 60 likes right now. We need 60. It's at 58. 2 more. Come on, we're asking for 2 more likes here. Lazy Aaron says, I didn't know you played League. That was my first time playing League of Legends in 6 years, and I gave up after 3 days until it pulls me back in tonight. Hi, is eBay not penalizing accounts until June? They said something about that, but honestly, I still feel like you should just try to be as safe as possible. And again, what happens in June? You're still going to have penalties on your account then, so why try to get them now?
That's very true. So John Arducci says, would you fight a return where they say they found it for cheaper as their reason for the return? I mean, what are you going to fight?
I'd hit them with a restocking fee if you're
got
top
them
rated.
with the 20% restocking fee for sure.
As long as you're top rated.
Because that's going to be the return of, I think they're called like discretionary returns or non-discretionary returns, something like that. And that type of return, you can hit them with a 20% because it's not on you. It's not at fault on you. So you're fighting, I guess, is just hitting them with a restocking fee. Definitely do it if you're top rated.
How do you set up taxes for dropshipping? We cannot answer tax-related questions. Look into TaxJar, look up Economic Nexus, and South Dakota versus Wayfair. Oh yeah, I'm from the UK. Short answer. Oh, that was the short answer, John. Hi, I found you guys late in the game and received an MC011 restriction. Any recommendation to restart my business? New company, new address, new computer. Look into eBay Stealth Book. And LT Creativity says, I have one last question. It's very long. You got it.
All right. So his one last question is, I live in France and I'm a dropshipper on using US retailers. If, for example, I did get suspended and did call eBay and they asked me to provide some info, can I say I have a family member that buys wholesale and stock them in his place and he is one who ships the item? Do they ask me to provide the exact address that I will ship from?
They don't ask the exact address that you're shipping from.
That literally makes it sound so scary, as if like eBay's gonna come to your house and like check all that. Like,
yeah.
I think that's a little bit above and beyond, honestly.
Yeah, just make sure if they ask you questions, just answer them truthfully with your public record related questions, that is, like who you are. If you're from France, I'm not sure there's very much public record on you in the United States. I have no idea. I don't even know what the public record is, but I'm on it. At that point, just say that you're buying wholesale and you're sending to a fulfillment center. There you go.
Simple as that. Yeah, don't overcomplicate it. Don't get paranoid about these things, guys. Okay? So Skepsy TV says, I was looking at the China drop shipping RAND scan on some of the stores on Zik, and they are barely making any money. I mean, there are some that are actually doing pretty decent, but yeah, I think there's more cons than there are pros.
There's cash back with AliExpress and other things that they're most likely making money that you just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Do you guys do a distribution agreement with suppliers? I just drafted up a great form, but don't know if it's necessary. I like calc-based physics 3. Schroeder, there you go. See, everybody, there's lots of physics and math-based guys in here. I never really do. I've never done an agreement with a supplier, really. They have you, at least the wholesale suppliers, you're filling out their agreement and signing it, but I've thought about
that,
writing
honestly.
agreements for the suppliers.
I have thought about that. That's not the worst idea in the world because you're kind of keeping them accountable and it makes you kind of look bigger than you probably are, right? So I don't think it's the worst idea. What's the worst? That you send it to them and they say, no, we're not signing it because the terms and the condition don't add up, don't line up exactly with our wholesale agreement. I mean, that's what they're giving to you is, sign this wholesale agreement. You're signing on the dotted line. You basically send out a distribution agreement. That's holding up their end of the bargain. So I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I would definitely try that.
When did the legs go up to 67? I was asking for 60. And
Hey, they gave you extra. Christmas came early this year.
So last few questions here. Nabil says, hi guys, I recently got MC011 and I don't know if I should do stealth or it's not worth it since eBay Global Payment System is coming soon. Any advice? I don't really know what eBay Global Payment System means. I'm guessing you mean managed payments. Yeah, just try to scheme your way into managed payments and see if that works, because if you're trying to go stealth through a PayPal account, then that's not going to really work in the next couple months, so it might be not worth your time.
Gary Springs says, hey, John Rooster says, great, thank you. ZC says, Tom, you keen on partial differential equations in the
Honestly, that one's over my
plane.
head. I don't remember that stuff anymore. I did take differential equations. I did get an A in it, but I do not remember
Also,
any of that.
sorry about that, John. I think I said your last name is Rooster. It's clearly Roster. Sorry about that.
Hi, is eBay not penalizing accounts until June? That was already answered, I believe. I believe so, but I'm still not taking any risks. And I'm pretty sure we just became best friends, call me. So at that, I am going to get off today. Thank you guys very much for showing up. I am looking for two more likes here, because we need to get this up to 70 now. We hit 60, and now we have to
smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Subscribe.
The numbers don't add
Edward
up.
Bernard subscribed, and he likes Physics 3, so you have to subscribe. We're gonna get up to 16,000, then we're gonna hit 17, 18, 19, then 20,000 subscribers. That's how it works. Thank you guys very much. If you are new here, we forgot to mention there is a free eBay dropshipping mini course in the description down below.
Check it out.
Instagram. And things like that. So thank you guys very much for showing up. We went over, and we hope you enjoyed. Okay, that's how you end it. All right, thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
End.